thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Enjoy GM, you guys are going to be able to get some great deals in any of these games. As you can see right here, they have a pretty big roster of games where you can get some awesome deals by simply using their site. I will have my link in the comment section below and pinned in the video, so do be sure you check it out for some great discounts. Let's talk about Withering Waves, as its massive 3.0 update is right around the corner, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, some of these deals are looking pretty juicy. They have the all-in-one bundle, which is going to be really good, but it's not only that. If you want specific characters, they can actually hook you up. The Chisa Guarantee Bundle, the Phoebe Guarantee Bundle, the 5-star Weapon Bundle, the Zani Outfit Guaranteed Bundle. Ladies and gentlemen, some of these deals are going to be very good, and I highly advise to go out to this website, check it out, and check some of these deals. It's extremely easy to do. All you gotta do is put your UID and your server, the quantity of the products that you're trying to get, pay now, and you'll be able to get all the goodies instantly with no problem whatsoever. With that said, I will have the link in the description and my own link, so do be sure to use that and get yourself some great discounts in this holiday season. What's good, guys? CJ here, and welcome back to another DNA video. Today we're going to break down one of the strongest characters in the game, so get ready to fly like a butterfly and sting like a bee as we break down this i6 Psyche build. It's heavily invested and it's very strong. I was able to test it myself on pretty much everything, every boss, theater, everything, and I gotta tell you guys, this thing just breaks anything in its path. Extremely fun and extremely laid back, because you're just going to be flying up in the sky, just absolutely raining down fire on any enemy that crosses your path. We're going to talk about the build, the weapons, the partners, the geniemon, and all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's hop right in. So this is the build that we're currently working with, and I'm going to explain everything that this build has to offer. By the way, shout out to the homie Sideways for allowing me to test his build, telling me how it works, telling me that he wanted me to showcase the build on the channel. And overall, I gotta say, he's done a great job with his character. You can tell he really loves his Psyche. So let's actually talk about it. We have 2500 Anemo attack, which is pretty damn strong. We're sitting out here with some lower sanity, standard sanity, but that doesn't even matter. We have 282 skill damage, 127 skill range, 32% resolve. So as you guys can see, it's a very strong build focusing around that heavy attack, skill damage, and that nice resolve, as well as some skill range. But in certain scenarios, you're going to want more skill range, and I'll talk about that in a second. It really just depends on what it is that you're doing. Now, I'm not really going to break down the skills in depth, because I do have a basic guide on Psyche that does that, but I am going to tell you pretty much what it is and what it ain't in a very simple manner, right? So the first skill we have is Chrysalis Dreamweave, and this is pretty damn simple. I'm not going to break it down in depth like I told you guys, but the main bread and butter of this specific ability is this right here. Photostasis. Charges forward in the air and releases 16 ethereal powders. The ethereal powders automatically lock onto one enemy, dealing Anemo damage and inflicting 1 stack of powder stigma up to 12 stacks. When a target inflicted with powder stigma takes range weapon damage from Psyche, 1 stack of powder stigma is consumed to deal Anemo damage. Just understand it like this. She's going to be shooting these homing butterflies that are going to destroy everything in its path. Is going to be a very strong skill, and you're always going to be weaving this into your rotation. Then we have her main ability. Fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Here you transform into your butterfly, get your wings out, and you're going to be getting a bunch of buffs. You're going to be able to do a bunch of damage. Overall is really damn good. And one thing you got to pay attention to is when Psyche's HP percentage is above 15%, Flamboyant State consumes HP instead of Sanity. The consumed HP will be converted into Ultra Shield at a certain percent, because normally it consumes Sanity. So you just kind of got to work around this, whether it's with your geniemon or whether it's with your partners. But that's pretty much what it is. You're going to be flying and dealing insane amounts of damage, which makes this character so fun to play. Then we have Amberlight. When dealing crit damage, Psyche gains one of the following buffs at random: attack boost, skill damage boost, resolves boost, and increases damage for each buff she gains up to 12 buffs, which I gotta tell you guys, very good passive ability. Then we have her other passive, Ephemeral as Dew. When using Fluorescent Eclosion, if Psyche's HP percentage is no less than 75, gains Ephemeral as Dew. When triggering the effect of Morale or Resolve, it regards Psyche's HP percentage as 1%. This can only be triggered once every 120 seconds. very good. And then we have the usual support ability when deployed as a combat partner, increases attack for self and Nemo allies, and you guys can see right here the attack boost is pretty juicy. These right here are skill damage, which is very good, and this right here is resolve. That's pretty much her kit. That's pretty much what you got to know when it comes to her kit. Very simplified. You guys can go ahead and read it if you really want to get every single minute detail down yourself. Now let's talk about the introns, because I did say this is maxed invested Psyche, and she is very strong. Like we've often talked about, her first intron is very important to give her that sustain and that ability to pretty much do what she needs to do. Using Chrysalis Dreamweave or Photostasis restores 10% of Psyche's max HP and increases Psyche's damage by 35% for 12 seconds. Absolute must-have. Then we have her Intron 2, while in Flamboyance, fire 16 ethereal powder particles every 5 seconds. When ethereal powder or powder stigma deals damage, there's a 35% chance to spawn a phantasm at the target location. Very good. Then we have her normal Intron 3, which is going to give her more levels to her skills. Her Intron 4, when in Flamboyant state, Psyche gains Eclosion. Eclosion grants immunity to hit stun, decreases damage taken by 25%, and increases auto pickup range by 15%. Honestly, this is just a quality of life intron. That's pretty much the main thing with it. Her Intron 5, once again, more levels to her abilities, and then her Intron 6, during Flamboyant state, increases Psyche's pen stats by 50%. This is a very chunky buff right here as well. So this is another very good intron. Overall, her introns are all very good. They make her a lot stronger, more comfortable to play, and a lot more enjoyable when it comes to doing what she needs to do. So very good. Now let's move on over to why you guys are actually here, which is the build. And this is the build you're rocking. And I already know there's going to be some Excel warrior commenting somewhere that there is a better build somehow. And I'm sure that if you do the math, there's probably something that works better. But I got to tell you guys, this build right here is extremely good. It's been able to clear everything within seconds. It's been able to go through the tower as far as you could possibly want to go. It's been able to do everything in the game. And the best part about it is that it's relatively comfortable. Yes, you can go with more volition, which is what a lot of people do, or maybe even more resolve, but the reality of it is that farming 200 plus of a specific purple wedge is kind of a pain. So for comfort's sake, and considering the fact that you clear absolutely everything like an absolute beast, this build right here is very good, with 2 Blaze Resolves and 2 Blaze Volition. So let's actually look at it. Blaze Resolve is going to give us attack and obviously resolve, which is going to be nice. We got 2 of those. We got 2 Blaze Volition, which is going to give us attack and skill damage, which is very good as well. Then we're obviously rocking the Wildfire for skill range, an emo attack, and skill damage. Then we got the Duel up in here because she's always flying up in the air. She's far as hell from everything, just sniping them down. So this is very good. Increases damage dealt by 44%. We're facing less than 2 enemies within a 20-meter range, which is pretty good. You're going to be able to do that no problem. We have Prime Resolve out here. Yes, we don't have the gold. I get it, but still pretty good. This is what you want. Prime Resolve is pretty good. And then we have Whispering Zephyr, which is going to give you skill damage. And when an Anemo character uses combat skills, it gains 154% skill damage increase for 6 seconds, which is very good. Something you're constantly going to be doing with her. And then in the middle, just put what you want. We have Feather Serpent's Vigilance, which is pretty much the simple one. When taking damage, there's a 50% chance to reduce the damage taken by 20%. And that's the gist of this build, ladies and gentlemen. Very comfortable to build. You don't have to kill yourself farming 200 volition, and you're still going to be able to clear everything and deal insane amounts of damage. From here, we're going to move on to the weapons. When it comes to her melee weapon, it's pretty damn simple. Her signature weapon, the Alpetus Abound, is going to be the one you're going to want to go for. Now, for the build, we have the simple build that we always have with Piercing Ascent, so we can, just dash around. It's pretty much just the way everybody builds pole arms. Pretty simple. That's the build for the Alpetus Abound. When we move on over to the range weapons, there are 2 weapons I'm going to talk about here that you can go ahead and slot yourself. The first one is Rend Husk. For the simple stat stick of that character attack is going to be pretty good. You can slot it here. If you want the skill damage pistols, you can put those here as well. But this here pistol is pretty damn good. It works. It gives her a lot of damage, and I do think is one of her best in slot weapons. But If you're doing some other type of content, if you're doing theater, for example, you can go ahead and slot in Destructo for the skill range. It's going to be very damn good. It's going to give you some skill range, and it's going to allow you to hit a lot more enemies, a lot more of those pesky ads that are going to slow down your tower clears, and this is just going to be a very good weapon to slot in here, easy to get, and all that good stuff. From here, we're going to move on over to the geniemons, and it's quite simple. We have the Ammon Elf, which is going to be the Battle Pass Dragon, which is a very, very good dragon. This is going to be a very good, geniemon to slot with her. Is going to increase Resolve by 6% for self and allies for 12 seconds, and if the main character's HP falls below 25%, instantly heals them for 10% HP, and the passive skill increases a Nemo attack for the main character and the combat partners by 2.4%, and the stats provided by Nemo Demon Wedges prefix with Griffin, Typhoon, and Covenanter, which is really, really good. But if you're free to play and you don't have any of these dragons, go ahead and build yourself a Mr. Good Knight. Continuously heal self and allies, restoring 5.4% of their max HP per second for 10 seconds. And the passive skill is going to give you HP, attack, and defense, which is pretty damn good. A lot of people use this dude right here, which is really nice. For the characters, you can go ahead and rock with her. I'm going to be straight up. Fina is going to be the #1 character that you're going to slot with her. It's just going to bump up the damage from Psyche through the roof. We have a full video guide on Fina where I talk about my build. There is one specific Demon Wedge that I don't cover in my build, but you would run it when you're running her with Psyche, which is going to be Prismatic Neon. When enemies near a Lumino character take weapon damage, crit chance increases by a certain percent, and it gains an additional against targets with debuffs. So this is pretty damn good. I have a different one in mind. I believe I use Gleam and Glimmer because I don't use her with Psyche, but that's a very good one to run when you're, using her with Psyche. By all means, check out my video and tell me what you think about the Fina build, but that is the #1 character you want to run with your Psyche because she's just going to bump her up through the roof throughout her entire kit, right? The next character is going to be Truffle and Filberto, which is just going to give you an insane damage buff. It's going to give you an insane damage buff, and it's going to allow you to deal a lot more damage, as well as healing you, which is going to be pretty nice for Psyche, even though in later stages, you don't really need that healing all too much. You're not dependent on it to really stay alive and stay afloat because she's just dealing so much damage. But Truffle and Filbert, with her insane damage buffing capabilities and her healing, are going to be the bread and butter. So these two characters are going to be really good. If for some reason you don't have these built or you don't like them, you can go ahead and slot Daphne in here instead of like a Truffle. But personally, I think the first two that I just mentioned are going to be her best in slot partners without a shadow of a doubt. And that's really it, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. Once again, I gotta say this because somehow, somewhere, at some point, a lot of people became elitist in this community and they think that there's only one way to do things. If you have another build that you're clearing content with that is different from this one, I'm happy for you. Feel free to share it in the comment section below. This build is able to clear absolutely everything in the game. And I'm not stating this is the one and only absolute build. I'm just saying this build right here is very, very good, very strong, and it's able to clear absolutely everything as you saw in the beginning of the video. But for now, if you've enjoyed the video, do be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Not bad, I must say. Keep it up. Meaningless struggles. Show me what you're made. Don't think you can get away.